Robstown. Well, good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here. We want to continue our breaking news coverage of the overnight tragedy just east of
Robstown Police Department attempted to pull over a white SUV, but that pursuit was cut short because of some of the unsafe conditions in the area. But around 7 this morning, police were called to this area after several injured people were spotted walking along the road here. And that's when police discovered that SUV that they had been chasing last night. They saw that crashed into a drainage ditch nearby. And Mike, as you mentioned, 6 people were found dead, 5 others taken to area hospitals. Their conditions right now are not known, but at least 1 person did have to be taken by Halo flight, but 3 others able to walk away from this accident. But police did bring in some drones to search for any other possible victims. Now, late this morning, that wrecked SUV was removed from the scene, and the search continues now, but an investigation is underway.
And as the Coastal Bend continues to navigate the challenges of the pandemic, we're committed to telling your stories of innovation. In today's We're Here segment, we take you to Quasar's Arcade, a place that's fun for the whole family.
We opened up in June of 2019. It was one day after the spring. The arcade has been years in the making. We wanted to bring something retro. I always felt like there was a need for something along the lines of bringing arcade games, pinball to Corpus. So I thank everyone in the community for coming out and supporting us through the pandemic and keeping us alive and being here to be able to provide the service that we do. And a way for people to come and hang out and forget about life for a little bit, come play some games. We are BYOB, so people do come in with their beer, have a good time, and just party. Cleanliness is something that's pretty common for us regardless. You're talking about high-touch surfaces. So we always had plenty of hand sanitizers. We do clean our games regularly. The feedback has said how great our games have been working, so we appreciate that. We want to make sure when you come in that you're having a good time. We do have probably one of the best pinball lineups in South Texas or in Texas. I love seeing parents bringing their kids in and saying, this is what I grew up with.
That looks like a lot of fun, people.
We're here at the 5800 block of Clifton Drive, right at the corner of Venice Road and Clifton Drive. And this is the mobile home that's on fire. Now, we do know that the home was abandoned. That's what we have gathered information so far. From what we've been told, though, the floor did collapse, so fire crews have not been able to go inside and actually see what caused the fire. Again, once we get more information, we'll let you know. But as you can see, a lot of smoke right now, a lot of fire crews out here. A lot of them are just kind of hanging out and waiting until this smoke and the fire dies down. And once we get more information, we'll keep you updated right here. Wind has been the culprit all last night. You know, what we know is that 2 of the 3 overnight fires were actually caused from strong winds sparking down power lines, just as you see right here. But as for the fire here at 16th and McKenzie, investigators are still trying to find the cause. This fire was spotted around 12:15 this morning. Firefighters tell us this house was vacant.
Our play of the day, we go back to the marquee matchup. Miller's Lonnie Atkinson shakes off a defender, then 3 more, then another 2. Ray Players, the 3-star wide receiver, is going to be getting college offers rolling in because his yards after the catch is incredible. Great 20-yard touchdown by Lonnie Atkinson. Remember the...
Good morning, Emily. I'm at the Fright Night Haunted House in downtown Corpus Christi. Taking a look at one of the tours called the Penitentiary of Pain. Brandon Gonzalez, who is the owner of the haunted house, is taking the tour with me. You ready?
Ready to go.
Okay, let's get started. Okay. So right here is a smoke. Guys, I have not been through this tour before. This is all new to me. Woo.
A business in Corpus Christi has been delivering fresh produce to the community for nearly 50 years. Our photojournalist Jay Pena introduces you to the Fruit King, located on Morgan Avenue. In today's We're Here.
Look around. Good, tasty, fresh. You can't beat that.
49 years we've been here in business. My parents started this in 1972. We try and get the freshest produce we can for the public. And, you know, we appreciate Corpus Christi here supporting us all the time. We run our own trucks, 18-wheelers, and getting all this produce here. Number one item is apples and oranges. Is a good seller. People that really need good prices, and I see them. It just makes me feel good when they come to me and they say, "Thank you for having this produce store. Thank you for having these prices. If it wasn't for Fruit King, we couldn't get these prices, you know." Well, we got 4 of my family and myself, and start stocking up all the shelves. That's what we got. 3 guys here, and just stocking up. They never stop. I'm Joe Martinez with Fruit King Produce, and we're here.
If you ever come to Jalisco, Mexico Taqueria in George West,
there's good people here.
You're bound to find Nego Merez Flores. He's a regular, a cup of coffee always in hand. And even at the age of 78, this native of Floresville is always looking for work.
I teach children karate.
How's that going?
Oh, great. Well, I don't charge, so that's not a job. So whenever I can get a job, carpenter job, I get one.
But it's not the carpentry, instead teaching kids karate that keeps him going. He calls it his therapy. Helping others, he says, helps him.
Where did you learn karate?
Okinawa.
Okinawa Island, Japan, more than 7,500 miles from his home in Floresville.
I won the lottery, by the way.
You did when?
1964.
Never once did Flores hesitate to answer the call to duty. The reason, all his brothers served in World War II in Korea.
You're a military family.
Well, in those days you had to be.
Why?
Because it was your duty.
His duty to serve our country, drafted by the Marines in 1964.
3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, 3rd Marine Division.
Flores and 2 of his buddies from Floresville were shipped off to Vietnam.
At first it wasn't too bad because I was young, didn't know any better. I had no responsibilities.
But then, that one memory comes flooding back, getting off the ship onto a little boat, and then
getting the water and mortars blowing up. While we were still on the little boat, you could hear bullets go bing, like that.
It didn't scare you?
Well, we were too conditioned what to expect.
Flores may have been there and survived the horrors, but he remembers very little.
I know I was there and it's in writing and, records, but I remember hardly nothing.
He deployed back to Vietnam twice, the entire time a proud Marine, proud for 20 years and still to this day.
When you came home, how were you treated?
So I ignored everybody.
But what did they say? What did they do to you?
Oh, I never listened to them.
Do you feel like you came back a changed man?
No more than anybody else.
It was back in Okinawa, a year before his first deployment to Vietnam, that Flores learned what proved to be his purpose in life, karate. These days, if he's not at Jalisco, Mexico Taqueria, you can find him a few blocks down the street at his dojo, right next to his home.
This here, this is equipment we use, and we go full contact. Everything has its place, and when the kids come and they just put everything away.
What is it that you feel that you instill in these kids who come here?
Self-discipline.
Flores says it's not difficult to do. He just had to learn how to speak their language, think like they do, and that's why they all get along so well together.
You can't communicate with them as an adult. You got to communicate at them with their language.
And when he looks back at his life, Flores says it's just like anyone else's.
We had a tough life here, good tough life here, and then the Marine Corps wasn't no change, and you still had a good tough life.
What do you think the rest of your life is going to be like?
Same, teaching karate, working, and I dropped dead. Oh yeah, I'm lucky to be here now. It's good enough for me.